I know you and I both have histories with going just hard with like very reckless, like macro dieting back in the day.
Yeah.
And now it's almost like I have to like preface, like when I say flexible dieting, I'm like, yeah, but like not the shitty way. Okay. Like I have
Yeah.
to like asterisk it and be
Asterisk.
like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not like, we don't do Walden Farms here anymore. Okay. Like
Right.
we're not adding baking soda to our pancakes. It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
With nutrition in mind, flexible dieting, encompassing sustainability in and out of prep. What are some of the habits, or I guess like principles that you kind of live by when it comes to your own nutrition and your nutrition for clients?
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm now on my 13th year of tracking macros. I find it to be, at least the way that I've done it, and I've experimented, as you know, I've experimented with some things and different types of diets, a little bit of keto, a little bit of carnivore, just kind of experimented just to see kind of how it went, because I like treating myself like a guinea pig sometimes. But macros I've always used macros, and they have always been the foundation on the house, regardless of whatever kind of house I build on top of that. So the macros are always there, and obviously they've changed a lot over the years depending on my needs, and working with a coach the entire time, or at least for the last 10 years, has helped, tremendously. I couldn't do it without a coach, and I wouldn't be able to have gone from, like, at one point I was eating 120 grams of carbs, couldn't even eat more without like blowing up, and to the point where now, my high day is 3,600 calories. Like what? So like things change, and it's from working with a coach, and also from, of course, like the research that I do, like on my own body, and like the kind of experimentation. So, I mean, the most important things for me, like you said, sustainability for sure. That is why I think I've gotten to a point where I can maintain a physique that's in a certain range without like crazy ups and downs. I think because I've literally been doing the same diet method for 12 years. Like, and the idea of tracking macros is extremely easy and extremely simple to me now. But I have also had to go through all of those challenges. There are certainly macro challenges. Macros can be hard for some people, especially in the beginning, but that work pays off at some point. It gets so easy and it gets so automatic, and that's where I'm at, and that's why I'm still doing it. I'm sure I won't track forever. I'm sure I'll be a very informed, intuitive eater at some point, but I have no problem counting macros, because they don't cause me any stress at this point. That's what's really important, right? Is like the problem with macros really happens when they induce stress. So that's my job. I'm a problem solver. As a coach, I'm here to solve problems. So I have my clients tell me every single macro challenge they run into, and I am here to solve them. I've been through everything. I have had to track macros in different areas of the world at different events. So I've got like so many tips and tricks that I feel like that is my job now, is to like share those with the world, because I do think that people need to know about macros. I don't think it needs to be just bodybuilders. I think that even children should have, they shouldn't be doing it hardcore like we do, but I think that they should have knowledge of macronutrients, more knowledge. I think we need to know about the composition of our food, and that most people out there don't know it, or they have the wrong idea of what their food is made of, or what the macronutrient composition is. There's so many misconceptions. So I'm here to like educate and just problem solve, basically. So I very much value balance. I'm very realistic in that, yes, ideally, I want my clients to eat anything they can grow, catch, or kill. Right? That's a really simple way to put it. I don't know where I heard that a long time ago, but anything you can grow, catch, or kill. That really encompasses, your proteins, your plants, anything that comes from the earth. It encompasses all of your single ingredient foods. And that is like the ideal diet. Sure. Like, yeah, that's what we want for sure. Can we always do that? No, no problem. I just talked to a client today, and due to many challenges, I was like, I just want you to just add a protein shake or add a protein bar. And usually I'm not really recommending that, but for this client and her challenges and her makeup and what she's trying to do and the fact that I need to feed her, I was like, why don't we just try throwing this in? Let me get your calories up, you know? So it depends on the person, but I understand that we have to be realistic about just what life looks like and the challenges, whether it comes to like it can come down to finances. It can come down to the fact that I have a mom of 3 meal prepping every week. You know, her meal prep is going to look different than mine. Her food challenges are going to look really different than mine. So I just try to just gather as much information about like, what are the challenges? I don't know them if you don't tell me. So I tell them, I'm like, please give me all of the information about your life so that I can understand, you know, what the food challenges are. And I can help build a plan for anyone. I have professional wrestlers who are traveling around the country on like red-eye flights, and then they come home and they have kids and they're working. You know, I have women who work in the ER who work like crazy shifts. Everyone's food situation is so different. So I try to really preach, of course, balance. And then it's like, let's just do what we can with the resources and the time that we have. So if I have time to meal prep, if I have money to go to Whole Foods and get the best grass-fed steak, great. If I don't, I'm going to do something else, you know? So I think it's too individual to really be putting out like, and that's why like Instagram is really hard for me, because I do want to put out more content, but sometimes I get tripped up with the fact that I'm putting out like a message to everyone, and it's like, shit, it's really different for everybody. So, yeah, but in general, I like to see my clients eating and myself eating as few processed foods as possible. Of course, the simpler the better, and then always understanding that macros should never be set in stone. We should never just here's your macros. All right, I'm done. You know, like find a calculator online and you're just like, those are your macros. Like I'm toggling my clients' macros constantly. So it's so individual.
Absolutely. And I love that the approach is largely based around the root of the problem, because I mean, I think that the approach that oftentimes people gravitate towards, or at least maybe come to you as a coach or come to me as a coach, they're like, hey, this is what's going on. When you start peeling back the layers of that, peeling back, okay, well, here is surface level. Okay, I can't be adherent to this diet, or, I've tried macros before that didn't work for me. So I'd like to just move strictly towards a meal plan. I don't like veggies. So can we keep it as simple as possible? Over time, and it doesn't take a lot of time. That's a big misconception as well. Over time, you start to see as a coach, it's typically not the reported problem that is the root of the problem. It's typically something that is often deep-seated and I find related to a behavior, cognition around food, or belief that a food is going to result in this specific outcome. And I think moving away from that, whether that be a food that is lacking nutrient density or food that is highly nutrient dense, just understanding, okay, where is the client coming to you from? What are these beliefs? Are these beliefs based in reality, or are they something that has kind of been embedded over time through diet culture, through what they've been exposed to? And I think being able to give clients that relief by teaching them, like, hey, yeah, maybe you did overindulge. Maybe you, for several weeks, maybe you went through a phase where like this was the best you could do. And the best we can do as coaches is like finding a homeostasis for you from a body weight standpoint, so it doesn't result in you overshooting in body fat. If that's the case, knowing that like, hey, coming out of this, like shedding that little bit of fat that you don't love, that doesn't make you feel like you, that is manageable. It doesn't have to be this mountain we climb each time. And I think demystifying the process and how to do that, like, I think that can be very powerful, and it can, I'd like to think, and I believe that it oftentimes allows people to feel more in control of their composition. And it doesn't have to be in these extreme instances of getting on stage. It can just be simply, okay, well, I'm not going to feel as stressed because of this weight gain, because of, this vacation I went on. I came back a little heavier than I wanted, because I know what needs to happen now. It's going to be a slight modification. It's not going to be this elimination diet. It's not going to be this, just this extreme, preceding month. It's very much within reason to see those shifts in body composition, and it's not nearly as strenuous or
Yeah. Like it doesn't have to be that
I guess
hard.
relying on. No, it
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah. I think that like
I
on this team, it's like we're trying to just like get people off of the roller coaster. And like that's what you do as well. Like we're all just like the aim is to get off the roller coaster and cruise. And the tough thing about that is that brings out a strange thing in some people. Some people don't like to cruise. There are some that do. I've noticed. There are also some that are like addicted to the roller coaster, almost like addicted to the adrenaline rush, and then addicted to the self sabotage, and then and like everything has to be constantly changing. And I saw someone say that maintenance is the biggest flex, and I agree. And I think doing just that boring, just like same shit all the time and maintaining, if you can learn to chill and cruise in your journey, like that, I think is where you see a lot of big returns.
absolutely, no, I completely agree.